Now we're going to be looking at the rear naked choke from the underhook side, which in my opinion is the strongest version compared to the overhook side. The best position to get in here, instead of having two hooks in normally, is one foot on the hip, I'm going to push down, and then the other one comes across the belly. Because even if I remove the foot, it's harder for her to turn over. The foot on the hip simply just helps for you to push or block them. Normally when you come in here is you're going to have a control of the bottom hand, or you're going to be having a seatbelt, and then from there you're going to be switching down to controlling. The first choke we're going to do is just a rear naked choke, but the grip setup is top hand is going to push down. I'm just going to punch through here, and now I'm going to be looking at her chin, because if she lifts her chin too much here, I can simply just let go of the hand, switch up and grab the shoulder. Now we can use the foot on the hip to lift her a bit, because it's hard for me to get my bottom arm out right now. So I'm gonna push and pull a little bit, gonna come out, lift my hand, and then go between our heads here. And now dig deep with your hands, so make sure your hands don't just have like a shallow grip on your bicep, but you actually get super deep on it. And then the hand behind the head, instead of pushing her head forward, simply just dig behind. So when you come in here, just chop down a little bit, squeeze your elbows in, and then now when you squeeze your elbows, instead of just pulling backwards, pull your elbow backwards. So you're thinking about like chopping her head off. So from here, I'm gonna squeeze a little bit, and then I'm gonna pull my elbow back from here. So think about the top arm pulling backwards instead of just pulling straight up. So you kind of rotate your elbow behind. Now we're going to be looking at the straitjacket control, which is probably the most useful and most effective way of isolating your opponent's arms and choking them from the back. So again, underhook side, foot on the hip, come across. Now, first I'm going to again isolate the bottom hand, because it's going to leave my top hand to attack her neck all the time. So I'm going to push down, and normally from here I can push across. So don't push upwards or down towards the hip, just push it across her body, because now the bottom hand lets go of the bottom hand, gonna switch to the other wrist, because now here top hand comes back and tries to choke her. That's where the bottom hand's gonna come up and defend. Here, now it's gonna leave the opening for me to use my top leg to catch her arm. Lift a little bit, push down as far as you can, heel in, and I like to just cross my feet here and then squeeze my knees. So some people like to isolate behind here. I feel sometimes it creates a bit too much hold. So just cross the feet, pull into their stomach, and then squeeze the knees. Now I have two hands against one, which means I can just pull my hand out, start fighting, push down, isolate, and then we're back to the same situation. Is I'm gonna just find the jawline, push her head across, and when I feel there's a bit resistance, head underneath, and then we can grab here. Same finish from here, lift up, lift my hand, go through, and then now squeeze and pull backwards. A couple of details for this is, top hand always chokes, bottom hand always isolates. Meaning, isolate, attack, and now when she defends this hand here, I'm gonna push it across, go down to the isolating hand, come back to attacking, because now she has to defend the top hand, because if she doesn't, I can just choke with that, which leaves the isolating hand open to do whatever it has to. Two things here. If I'm completely straightened out here, it can be sometimes really hard against people with too wide shoulders to get across and get here. So push the hip, lift them up and dive underneath, because then I can push my arm way further down, and then it's much easier to come across. One option or another thing you're gonna experience is they're gonna lean their shoulder forward from here, and then it's super hard to get across from here. So now I'm just gonna punch as far as I can with my arm, pull her elbow or pull her shoulder back, come across, catch, let go, cross, cross, and then from here again, top arm feeds to the isolating hand, and then we're back to where we can choke them again. And especially in this situation is, when you dig underneath, lift, grab. If you don't feel like you want to lift them up from here, Deep grip on the shoulder, same finishing mechanics from here. I'm gonna pull my elbow backwards towards the back of her shoulder, and then you can just get a choke straight on the throat from here. So from here, I just go across and then you get the tap. Second option from here, when we have the seatbelt is, again, control the bottom hand. And now instead of controlling the top hand I'm gonna start getting my head underneath, and now I'm gonna start looking for the bottom of her jawline. So I'm actually gonna try and force her head towards me by pushing over. And then when I get to a point where I can't really push more, just head in, open up, and then you can catch the shoulder from here. Normally, they defend with this hand that they try to come in. So either come down with your head and block. If they just grab up here, we're pretty safe. So again, lift, come out, catch it. Because if she grips even with both arms here, if I pull straight backwards, she might be able to hold my arm down. But when you start rotating your elbow backwards, you're gonna just pull her hands backwards, and at some point it's just gonna be so uncomfortable that they're gonna tap. So from here, even if you're gripping here, just slowly pull back here with the elbow. You can see her hands are going backwards, and that's gonna go into her throat and become super uncomfortable.